Welcome back. Well, let's get straight to our first management on the show. Protean eGov Technologies is the first management on the show. The past quarter's numbers a little bit weakish, but as we have been saying, there's a big potential in this space, massive runway out there. But to understand how do the various segments perform and what's the outlook from here on, we're joined by Mr. Suresh Sethi, the MD and CEO of the company. Hi, Mr. Sethi. Good morning first, and wishing you, your family, everyone at the company as well, a very, very happy Diwali.
Yeah, Nigel, thank you so much and wish you the same.
Thanks a lot for that. Well, let's talk about your numbers. The past quarter seems to have been a little bit of a softish one, and the start to the year as well has been quite soft. Could you help us out with what kind of a number are you looking at by the end of this year? Because you would be factoring in a recovery in the second half of the year. Last year, I think you did revenues of close to around 880 crores. For this year, on that sort of a base, what kind of growth are you looking at? Point number one, because there's a degrowth in the first half. And secondly, margins are gradually making its way to the mid-teens. Sustainable?
Yeah, sure, Nigel. So I'll pick up on both points. In terms of the numbers, as you would see, there's a quarter-on-quarter growth. This quarter has been almost 12% higher than the first quarter. Our businesses, the core businesses, especially on the tax and pension front, have both shown robust growth quarter on quarter. Again, as we are seeing that there was some impact in terms of comparisons with last year, where the overall market from a PAN issuance perspective was slightly lower in comparison, because last year there was a deadline in terms of Aadhaar PAN linkage, which showed a spike. But as far as we are concerned, we've shown strong gain in market share, almost from 51 to 55% over the course of last year, again, comparing in the same period. Similarly, in pension, we are seeing good growth, and the new scheme which the PFRDA has launched for the minors, that has taken off well. It was announced on the 15th of September, and within almost 30 days, we have 25,000 plus accounts opened on NPS Vatsalya. So we are seeing good opportunity on the core businesses, and we will expect it to sustain. And there was also a bit of a lax period with the elections in the first quarter. So we are seeing that momentum coming back and businesses growing quarter on quarter. In terms of margins, yes.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, in terms of margins, definitely we see that with the numbers flowing in and things picking up, it should show a similar trajectory as we are seeing it now.
All right, so 14-15% of margins is what we could work with. What about the growth? You gave us all the factors at play. First half was impacted by a couple of factors. You seem to be quite enthused that the quarter-to-quarter basis, you've seen a growth as well. So how much better can it go? On a yearly basis, FY25 in comparison to FY24, what is the growth you're penciling in?
Difficult to do a forward-looking statement. But from a macro perspective, definitely we see that, again, these are strong businesses with us with the reasonable headroom. When we are looking at the PAN and the pension business, clearly a market out there with under 50% penetration on the PAN front in our country, and not being a saturation ID, there's definite issuance every year. And with more digitization of India, as we see issuance of government schemes for welfare benefits, again, we are seeing PAN becomes a very important identity to secure. And that is where the growth comes in. Pension, hugely underpenetrated in our country. As we know, when we compare to OECD markets, we are talking about a 6% to an 80% comparison in terms of penetration as percentage of GDP. So good
Mr.
headroom
Sethi,
in this.
Yeah. Mr. Sethi, hi, good morning. Prashant here. So I just have two questions. One, is PAN issuance going to be the dominant driver? Or are there other legs of sort of growth as well? When we talk about digital public infrastructure, if you can just list out, the top three drivers, because government will come up with more schemes, various other digital public infra sort of rails are being built, and there'll be new ones as well. RAN records, etc., for example, got investors quite excited at one point in time. The importance of PAN and to your business going forward, and two or three other drivers, new drivers, which you think could become significant. Go on.
Sure. So Prashant, definitely core businesses is one I commented on. The other areas in DPI in which we are clearly contributing and building both at the infrastructure level and at the application level is in the area of e-commerce and mobility, which is ONDC, which is again showing good growth. What you were referring to earlier was the agri stack. which we worked with the central government in working on the core agri stack at the center, which was more data exchange with the states and managing those protocols. And that is where almost 13 states are now there, which are enabling and working on the agri stack and running the initial, engagements from there. And we see that going to be strong in building from here. And other areas that we are seeing, there's an opening of the ONDC categories. We've gone into open finance, where we are connecting buyers and basically borrowers and lenders and providing various financial services on the open network, a product which we announced in the last quarter. And that, again, is a promising area because it opened up the financial market, leveraging the account aggregator framework. And likewise, on a DPI front, we are also have launched something we call as Protean Life, where we are absolutely looking at sustainability and CSR coming on an open network and enabling a fragmented ecosystem which exists today to come together for easy discovery of seekers and providers. So these are some of new engagements which we feel will be very positive in contributing to our business. And last but not least, let me add that other than the core identity services we provide, we build a full stack of digital services, whether it is for digital onboarding, for lending services. And that is one area where we are seeing a clear alignment with the Digital India vision and strong growth on various aspects.
Mr. Sethi, my question is very simple. All that you just described, all of these different business lines that you're scaling up, if you could give us some idea of how they will translate into your revenue mix, not by March of 25, but say March of 26. So as they sort of keep growing over the next year, year and a half, how much of the business will still come from PAN services, how much from data, from identity? Because they have been the big segments for you till now. And just some more clarity on both ONDC, which is going to be the commerce piece, and the financial services piece that you just spoke of, because that's where one would imagine there's also a lot of competition, right? I mean, while ONDC is the open network, there are B2B aggregator networks, there are B2C networks on the commerce side already. So how much can you hope to sort of scale this up in terms of the revenue pie?
Sure. So Surabhi, I'll call it out on two fronts. One, we are contributing at the foundational or the infrastructure level. So today we are powering the ONDC network. And what I mean by that is that the entire gateway, the switch, and the registry tech on which all the buyers and sellers are today being showcased for easy discovery is provided by Protean. And that is where we are contributing at the infra level, where we are the only company today providing that services to ONDC. You are absolutely right. At the application level and buyer and seller applications, there's a lot of competition, but we definitely see our competitive advantage from our perspective as a DPI company. Similarly, on financial services, I think the market is huge. Today, when we see the growth in eKYC, e-sign, and the applications being provided for consumption of these services, the market is big enough, so we see growth over there. From a business mix perspective, we are aspiring to clearly see that our concentration on the core businesses gets diversified, and we are aspiring that over the next 2 to 3 years, we work towards a model where the new businesses start contributing around 20 to 25% of our top line.
And that would be ONDC and finance, as well as the insurance.
We have 4 new verticals. So it's ONDC, it's finance or data stack, as we call it. It's our international business where we are taking, again, the DPI assets global. And it is on cloud and InfoSec services.
All right. We wish you all the luck, Mr. Sethi. Thank you very much for coming on. Happy Diwali once again. Season's greetings from all of us here at CNBC-TV18. We'll take a